Relationship advice update. My girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. Original post. My girlfriend, 20 female, is completely crazy, but mostly in a good way. Spontaneous is an understatement. Sometimes she goes too far, but I love her for her crazy personality. I 18 mil and more relaxed, and we balance each other out. Two recent incidents really freaked me out though, and I need advice. I was driving on the highway with a lot of traffic. We were going maybe 40 miles per hour. She suddenly started tickling me and wouldn't stop. When I yelled at her, I jammed on the brake and someone almost hit us from behind. I asked her what the hell is wrong with her, but she just laughed about it and told me to chill. I said, "What would make you want to do that?" And she said, "I don't know, just felt like it." Then last Saturday I was hiking with her and I was standing near the steep cliff. I'm usually wary of her because you never know what she's going to do. Even though it's usually just a prank or something, I let my guard down and she went behind me and pushed me towards the cliff, and I swear, I almost fell off. She did it hard and I ended up right at the edge. She was laughing so hard, I freaked out and started screaming at her, and I may have been out of line, but holy crap, she laughed about it at first, but then she started crying and saying she was so sorry. The next day she started texting me saying that she didn't mean any harm and she just didn't know that I would get so mad at her for doing that. Am I crazy for even thinking about this? Is it possible? She's just immature, and if I get back with her, she'll be different. I'm kind of lonely and I really love her, but this really made me rethink the situation because now I feel like she's legit crazy. Not just fun, crazy. Thanks for your advice. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Brah, she tried to kill you twice, then proceeded to laugh about it. The next time you might not be here to tell the story. There's some things you can forgive and some things you can still forgive but are obligated to walk away. You are obligated to walk away. Your girlfriend has a serious problem, especially seeing you say she gave an allergic friend nuts because she thought was funny is just frightening. This is not normal. This isn't even considered crazy personality. She has serious mental issues that need to be professionally addressed. I'd be worried. She's a sociopath. She obviously enjoys endangering other people's life, to the point she keeps doing it over and over again. One day she will actually kill someone. A friend of mine died while camping when he tripped on a rock and fell off a cliff. He was an organ donor and his body was so mangled that they couldn't even salvage his eyes. Cliffs are no joke. Crap, that sounds awful. I'm really sorry about your friend. And now for the update. I've been thinking a lot and I decided that I'm ending my relationship with her. This isn't easy for me. It's hard because I've been with her for almost 2 years. But it's even harder because now I feel a ton of guilt myself as I remembered things that I ignored and how I was only worried about her after I became the victim. I mentioned that point in the other thread, but I feel even worse about it. Now, I know I was stubborn in the last thread, but I listened to everyone's advice very carefully. You all helped so much when people brought up the sane aspect, it sort of clicked. I don't know if it was stupidity or selfishness, but I didn't think of her that way until this week. I just ignored everything she did. I thought about some memories using this new perspective. I remember early this year, her dad got her a job at the front desk at this apartment complex. It's hard to explain this place because it was sort of a luxury place and most apartments aren't like this. But I was there once or twice to pick her up and I remember what the building looked like. There were a lot of older people living there, and right near the entrance of the building, there was an elevator which only went up. Then there was the main elevator, which was kind of far down a long hallway. She had to call that first elevator down after the person was approved to go into the building. One time, me and her were smoking and just chilling talking about stuff. She was laughing to me about how she would sometimes disable the up elevator and pretend it was out of order, and then she'd watch these older/handicapped people walk down this long hallway to get to the main elevator. She got fired pretty quickly anyway, because she activated the fire alarm when there was no fire. When they asked her what happened, she pretended that the computer was glitching and she couldn't stop it, but they believed she did it on purpose. So they fired her. I'm sure some people could have been injured during the chaos. I guess the alarm must have disabled the elevators, so everyone had to grab their stuff and run down the stairs as quickly as possible. I can imagine all these elderly people going down so many flights of stairs. I don't think anyone was injured, but they did fire her and maybe they're still investigating. I don't know if it could help, but I'm going to call that place and tell them what she told me and how she admitted to pulling the alarm on purpose. That will help my conscience out a lot. Like I said, I feel terrible about ignoring this stuff. You might think I'm an idiot or a terrible person myself. I don't know what to say, but when I really thought about this stuff, I decided I couldn't be with her. I know people will criticize me and that's fine. This is an update, but also a confession to be honest because I have to get that off my chest, and there's a bunch of other stories too that she told me or that I saw myself. I enjoyed her craziness to be honest, even though I was always on edge, but I thought of it as her being fun and spontaneous instead of sadistic. I guess I'm pretty weird myself. I responded to her texts this morning because she was starting to get angry and was sending a lot more texts. I told her I was really sick and thought she shouldn't be near me, but that we might be able to hang out again in a week or two. I said I wasn't mad at her anymore. And I just didn't respond because I was sick. I just told her that to get her off my back and to give myself time to prepare for the breakup because I don't know how she's going to react, and I want to be safe. For example, she has keys to my house and I'm living with other people, including kids, so I want to change the locks and make sure we're not tied together in any other ways before I do an official breakup. Do you think that's a smart idea? I could use any advice on the best way to do a breakup in this situation because I'm kind of worried once again. Thanks so much for all your advice last time and have a good day now. For some top advice. I think that this girl is actually crazy and you should do what you can to protect yourself. She sounds like a narcissist or sociopath. Your girlfriend gave nuts to an allergic person, tickled you while driving, tried to push you off a cliff, said it would be fun to get a shock collar for a dog. And before that, she also intentionally made handicapped people walk farther for her amusement and pulled the fire alarm for no reason, and you were afraid to let her tie you up because you thought she might attack you. Yeah, probably a good call to break up. At the very least you need to establish some boundaries with her because she's not looking out for you in the way your partner should. Seriously, get the hell out of there. For example, she has keys to my house and I'm living with other people including kids, so I want to change the locks and make sure we're not tied together in any other ways before I do an official breakup. Definitely do this 100% if you're renting. Notify your landlord. If you own the property, we paid to have our house rekeyed when we bought it and I think it cost us $150. She sounds crazy, so definitely get your ducks in a row before you drop the hammer. Tell your roommates about what's going on, at least to the point that you're breaking up and she's no longer allowed around the apartment if she gets crazy over text. Save copies. Definitely never be alone with her again. I'd recommend not even seeing her in person unless it's absolutely necessary. No shame in breaking up with her over the phone. If you think she'll be unpredictable or violent, also freeze your credit reports in case she knows your information. Yes, definitely change your locks. You might want to look into getting some cheap security cameras for outside too. Tell your roommates, family and any mutual friends that you are breaking up and do not want them to help her contact you. You don't owe her anything here. She's literally tried to kill you. Don't feel bad at all. If you decide to break up with her by text or email, it might even be a good idea because then if she replies and threatens to escalate, you have it in writing. Make sure to specify that you don't want any contact with her going forward. If you do decide to break up in person, for the love of all that's holy, do it in a public place. This girl tried to kill you and you're asking if you need to change the locks. Come on, dude. Now for the last story. My 23 female boyfriend, 25 male, left me on the side of the road and I deserved it. My amazing beautiful boyfriend had decided to treat me to dinner since we've both had long weeks. He was making me laugh and we were talking and having a really good time. After we were done, we left and we were about halfway home when I asked him if we could stop and get some dessert. He said something like, haha, didn't we just eat and keep striving? My stupid selfish self pushes it and says, come on please. I want something sweet. He replies that we have ice cream at home and continues driving. After that, I kept on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and while he's being way more patient with me than I deserve, he's firm and says, no, I give up. But then I see a fast food restaurant up the road and jokingly pull the wheel to go into the parking lot. Apparently I pulled harder than I thought because we actually ended up swerving and hit another car lightly to make things worse. He just bought this car. The driver motions for us to pull into the parking lot, and when we do, he and my boyfriend get out and the driver starts cussing him out and saying horrible things to him. Even though there wasn't any damage to both the cars, the bumper has the littlest little dent on it and the other car had no damage. They didn't even exchange any information while he's being yelled at. I don't get out of the car and let him be punished for something I did. When he gets back in and starts driving, he's gripping the steering wheel so hard that the veins on his arms are popping out. His entire face is red and he hasn't said anything to me to try and break the tension a little. I say, well, that could have gone a lot worse. As soon as I say that, he stomps on the brakes and just tells me to get out of his sight in the angriest voice imaginable. I've never felt afraid of him, but in that moment I did. He looked like he was struggling not to hurt me. I got out and he sped off. It was starting to get dark and I was in a stretch of woods. It took almost an hour for me to walk home, but when I got there, he and all his stuff was gone. I feel so horrible. I can't even apologize to him, because he hasn't been responding to my calls and texts. We've had fights before about my childish quirks when they go a little bit too far, and now I don't have a boyfriend anymore because of it. I've been getting texts like WTF and what the hell is wrong with you from our friends, so I think he's told them what happened. It seems like everybody's mad at me. Is there any way to fix this? How can I apologize to them when all our friends are siding with him? Now, for the top advice: you could have killed someone. You are fortunate you didn't. You need to step back and analyze yourself. This isn't childish behavior. What makes you think grabbing a steering wheel is okay? You're a god-ass adult. You don't apologize. You offer to pay to fix the damages and grow the hell up. That's the worst part. A car is not a toy. It's a big, dangerous killing machine. It should be taken seriously. You don't fix this. Leave him alone and learn the lesson. Your childish works aren't cute. They are immature and selfish. And your ex-boyfriend paid for your behavior by taking verbal reprimand from someone and putting up with your crap pulling on a steering wheel in traffic because you want ice cream now is unbelievably stupid and put you, your ex and the people and cars around you at risk because you just couldn't wait for dessert. Think about that. Have you bothered to offer to pay for the damage to his brand new car? Seriously, those aren't works. Those are signs of stupidity and immaturity. Opie needs to learn the difference. If she wants to have any chance of surviving in this world, I wouldn't even say signs of immaturity. I'd say it's complete lack of respect, and she's never learned. Boundaries are held accountable for her actions. Even when I was an immature 10-year-old, I knew not to jerk a steering wheel while someone was driving us that could result in death. We've had fights before about my childish quirks when they've gone too far. No, these are not quirks that go too far without your input. You went too far. You pester and pester and pester and wheel like a small child. And when he said, no, you jerked the steering wheel because you wanted to go to a fast food restaurant and caused an accident. Then to lighten the mood, you minimized the seriousness of what you did, and instead of apologizing profusely, you said it could have been worse. I am willing to bet that on the way home he was cursing ever being attracted to your cute squires. You went too far. You don't have childish quirks. You are yourself childish and thoughtless. Every day you are getting older, and every day your childish ways become less and less cute and more of a giant red flag. I have kids 6 and 10. They do stupid childish stuff all the time. I discipline them in hopes they don't do stupid childish stuff like this when they're older. This is not quirky. It's incredibly unattractive and annoying, and that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you like this content, I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.